Get in. Ooh, 2 park jobs, let's go. What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to talk about the differences between lightweight discs and max weight discs. We have a Lucid Air Maverick here, and then a normal max weight Maverick. This one comes in at 160, this one comes in at 175. Both discs are incredible flyers, and although they are the same mold, they both fly very differently. Let's give them a throw, and then we'll go over some of the differences that I've noticed. So one thing that I really love specifically about the lightweight discs is that you're going to get more turn early in the flight, and you also don't have to put nearly as much effort to get the disc to follow the characteristics that it was specifically designed to do. So that Lucid Air Maverick, I can just toss it out there, very minimal effort, and get the same flight characteristics as if I threw the Max one, significantly harder. Where does this become useful? I'm sure you're wondering. Where it becomes useful is when you're playing heavily wooded courses where you may not have the comfort to do a full swing. You can pull a lighter weight version of the same disc out and hit the line you're used to, but you're able to focus on the line a little bit more because you're not worried about throwing the disc hard enough to get it to, let's say, fly dead straight like we just saw from the Maverick just now. It's a really good feeling being able to throw a lot tighter, cleaner lines without having to worry so much on putting enough power on the disc. And now we'll throw the max weight one. I think I aced it. I didn't. Just parked. So when shot shaping doesn't fully matter as much, and you just have a target in front of you, and you just sort of have the room to throw straight at the basket, the max weight options are going to tend to be a little bit better because you don't always want those right to left undulations that you'll get out of a lighter weight disc. So when shaping a shot and getting turn and fade is really important, the lighter weight discs are going to exaggerate those flight characteristics, as to where the max weight disc is going to be just a lot more direct and straightforward as to the type of shot you need to throw. I think personally the highest percentage play on a straightforward hole is usually going to be the max weight disc for that exact reason that you just saw on those 2 throws. All right, let's throw both of these discs just on a Hyzer line and see which one can actually hold straight the longest, specifically on a Hyzer flip. So that last shot, we threw them pretty much both flat. The Lucid Air turned and the max weight one didn't turn, and the max weight one was parked. Let's see how they both do on a Hyzer flip. So you can see that Lucid Air, it just wanted to pick up and then held the line forever. And that is the shot that I love with that Lucid Air Maverick. It just sort of hangs on to that turn and really exaggerates the flight characteristics of the Maverick. So now let's hit this guy on Hyzer and see how it flies. So picking up, staying relatively straight, and then having much more fade at the end of the flight. So if the basket was through the gap and to the right, the lightweight disc would be optimal. But in this case scenario, the basket is through the gap and to the left, so the max weight is going to be the better option. And we have another great example of the difference between lightweight versus max weight. The lightweight disc just held turn forever, just kept going from left to right. And that's one of the prettiest shots in disc golf. That's one of the hardest to execute. Throwing a lightweight disc in your bag is going to make that shot so much easier because you can trust, as long as you give it a little bit of height, it's always just going to continue to hold that turn. And if you want it to go left, then the max weight option is obviously going to be better because it's going to pick up, go straight, but then have a lot more fade at the end of the flight. And I know there's a lot of you guys that bag the same mold in various wear and tear to get the same effect. If you just bag a lightweight version of the same disc, you're going to get that perfect bead-in flight without having to worry about seasoning in a new disc. And if you lose your seasoned disc, then you have to find a new one, season it perfectly, buy a used one, probably still season it, or you can just go out and buy a lightweight one and get that good seasoned bead-in flight without having to season a new disc. And I think it's pretty common for people to bag a lightweight driver or two, but I feel like it's very uncommon for people to bag lightweight mids, lightweight fairway drivers, and I've been absolutely loving my lightweight fuse, this lightweight Maverick. They've been so useful. And this hole right here, I've been setting you guys up on the ace cam every time I come to Reedy. One of these days, I'm going to ace this thing. That's probably too high. Maybe not, go in. A little bit high. So the ideal shot here on hole 8 is going to be a Hyzer flip shot up the gap, but it's really, really tight on the left side. And because of that, you need something that's going to Hyzer flip really early in the flight. So a shot like this is where the lightweight disc with a little bit more action early in the flight starts to become really, really useful. So especially when you have to hit those tight gaps, like right early off the tee, this is really where your lightweight options are going to shine. So let's see, we'll hit the max weight one first, see if we can get her to Hyzer flip. So I hit the gap pretty much how I wanted to, but we didn't get that full sort of finishing straight Hyzer flip that we were looking for. So ideally this guy on the same line should turn more and get us a little bit more action towards the basket. So you can really see the difference there. That lucid air wanting to stay so much straighter, and I'd be a lot more comfortable throwing that shot, especially in a tournament, because I know I'm going to get that full true Hyzer flip compared to a shot that kind of Hyzer flips and then finishes to the left. I have something that I know I can trust that will flip a lot and go straight, getting that seasoned flight versus like the max weight flight. And it's super fun to throw the lightweight discs because you kind of get that pro level flight because you're getting more arm speed on the disc. The disc is going to fly a lot closer to how it flies for the pros than how it would normally fly for you. And I know a lot of us have amateur arms, amateur arm speed. So it's really fun to grab a disc and get a pro flight with my average arm. So it's really fun to break out the lightweight discs because you can get a lot more professional looking shot shapes out of these discs. Hole 9 here, this is going to be another hole where the lightweight disc is going to shine because early in the flight, we need to hit this gap on the left and the disc needs to start turning very, very soon after. It's going to be a lot easier to get the lightweight disc to fly like that than the max weight. The max weight one, you pretty much just have to force over, and the lightweight one's just going to do it on its own. And yeah, that's a good shot, but I really had to force that left to right angle as opposed to the lightweight Maverick. It'll kind of want to just stay in the air and do that on its own without having to be forced. And you can really see the difference there. Hanging on to a huge turn, wanting to kind of stay up in the air. I didn't have to force the shot as much. And I find the more that I'm forcing the shot, the more mistakes I'm making, especially in, leagues, sanctioned leagues, and tournament play. All right, everyone, I think that's a really great stopping point for today. I hope this helped you understand some of the differences between lightweight discs versus max weight discs. I think just those early flight characteristics from the lightweight options can be super useful, especially when you need to hit a gap early but still find a shot shape like I just had to do back on hole 8. Hit that gap on Hyzer, let those exaggerated flight characteristics kind of carry you to the basket. With the max weight disc, you're just kind of forcing it to do something that it's not capable of doing because you have to throw the disc so hard to get the shot shape to happen that you're just going to blast it long. Or you can throw the lightweight option, get exaggerated flight characteristics, and not have to blast it super far just to get it to fly the way it's supposed to fly. So that, amongst many other reasons, I think you should probably bag both So the Lucid Maverick and the Lucid Air Maverick are both going to be in the bag for the foreseeable future. This kind of flying, very similar to a seasoned FD. This flying like a super seasoned FD. And these are going to be absolute staples in my bag. Playing in the woods all the time, you need discs that you can trust to go straight. I have one that I can trust that'll hold a hyzer, flip up a little bit, and go really far. Then I have one that I can trust on super hyzer flips, turnover lines, hyzer flip to turn. I can give it height, it'll turn for days. This one I can force over. If I need to force the shot early, I can force it and it'll have the stability to sort of pan out at the end. Lightweight versus max weight are going to be the perfect 1-2 punch, and I would highly recommend you add some lightweight discs to your bag. You can save money on either of these discs. I have a bunch of links in the description below. Go get one for yourself. You guys are watching Iceberg TV.